Hello, class. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We begin with Fermin Lopez as the Barcelona young star could get first Spain call-up for the Euro qualifiers later this month. We are going to discuss on that as we move ahead. Secondly, talking about Frenkie de Jong as the Barca superstar will not return to action till the end of this month. We are going to be discussing on that as well. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Fermin Lopez has emerged as one of the rising stars for FC Barcelona this season. Starting from his performances in pre-season, the young star has become a trusted option for coach Xavi Hernandez. Lopez has featured in 9 competitive matches for Barca this season, racking up 2 goals and an assist. He was even one of the bright stars in the Catalans' defeat to Real Madrid recently. In light of the Spaniards' excellent season, the Barcelona starlet is in contention to represent Spain in the upcoming international break. Such was reported at the end of last month, shortly after the young star's performances against Shakhtar Donetsk and Real Madrid. Now, Sport has offered an update on Fermin Lopez, suggesting that the Barcelona starlet is awaiting a call from Luis de la Fuente, the manager of the Spanish national team. The Spain national team coach has already heaped praise on Lopez recently. He particularly took note of the player's performance against Real Madrid last month. So, the coming week will be an important one for Fermin Lopez, with Luis de la Fuente expected to announce his squad on November 10. The attacker has already represented the Spain under-21 squad earlier in the summer, and given his performances for Barcelona this season, there is a very good chance he can play for La Roja in the near future. If Fermin gets called up, he could appear in Spain's upcoming matches against Cyprus and Georgia in the UEFA Euro 2024 qualifiers. With 5 wins in 6 matches, Spain are leading the qualifying table, level with second-place Scotland. The upcoming few matches, therefore, will pose an excellent opportunity for De La Fuente to try out his luck with young stars such as Fermin Lopez. Of course, Fermin Lopez have been an eye-catching player, and Xavi have been putting him now more frequently than before, and we are seeing the quality of this young lad. I think he's doing such an amazing job in midfield. Fermin is a great player, and I think for the manager to give him the trust is something very important, because now when the club manager gives a trust to a player, it also gives now the national team boss to start looking like, okay, let me try this out. Of course, this is exactly the same thing we saw in the likes of Gavi, Pedri, of course, who started like that. Like for instance, when Koeman was in charge, and of course, it always happens when players come, young lads from La Masia. It is quite easy for the Spain national team to call them up, because the style of play is similar to the way Spain likes to play in the national team. And I think Xavi is doing well, to show some trust, a lot of trust to some of these young lads. Because we saw players too like Lamine Yamal breaking through this season, and of course shocking fans with his displays. And now we're seeing Fermin Lopez. Fermin Lopez is making everybody proud, because even the game against Real Madrid, he was one of the standout players. So his consistency is really crazy, and it is so good to see such a young lad hungry for success like the way Fermin is. And of course, it won't come as a surprise to me for De La Fuente to call him for the Spain national team. We have seen that with the likes of other players who have breakthrough in the Barcelona, and Fermin Lopez's inclusion will not be a surprise. So currently, what they are saying is he's still now in the preliminary list preliminary list, not yet in the final list. But November 10, that will be, I think, November 10 will be next Friday. Yeah. Um, the Spanish national team boss De La Fuente will make his final list, and of course, from there on, we'll see if Fermin Lopez will be included. But I think he deserves to. He has shown a lot, and of course, still more to come from him. Against Sociedad that we play later tonight, I think Fermin Lopez will play. He has been playing now every single game, and of course, one thing that I've made Fermin Lopez to enjoy most minutes now has been the absence of Pedri and Frenkie de Jong, who have been one of the key players, and they have not been available. So Xavi, of course, have to put his trust to the young lad, and I think he has been doing just what the manager wanted to see. Then on to the final story of discussion in what could be a big blow for us. Key midfielder Frenkie de Jong is unlikely to return from injury until the end of November, according to Tony Juan Marti. Frenkie de Jong has been out of action since late September when he sustained an ankle injury during the first half of the game against Celta Vigo. Of course, there had been hope that the 26-year-old could return against Real Madrid last weekend, but Barca decided against taking such a risk as the player still felt discomfort. Frankie de Jong was also absent from the squad list yesterday that came out ahead of the game against Sociedad. Now, Tony Juan Marte is claiming that apart from not being available for tomorrow's trip to Anoeta, Frankie de Jong will miss a few more matches in the coming weeks. It is claimed that Barca do not wish to take any risk with Frankie de Jong's recovery, as the player is still feeling some discomfort in that injured area. As such, the former Ajax midfielder will now miss the upcoming matches against Shakhtar Donetsk and Deportivo Alaves. The idea is for the Netherlands international to make his return after the international break when Barcelona take on Rayo Vallecano on November 25. Speaking about Frankie de Jong's condition earlier today in his press conference, Xavi Hernandez admitted that Frankie de Jong was still feeling some discomfort, he said. It all depends on his feelings. Pedri has a good feeling, but Frankie hasn't. He has tried, but he's still in pain. Injuries are going well, so calm down. 30% of these questions you are asking me are all about injuries. Frankie has a bad feeling and it hurts. When he picked up the injury, initial reports had suggested that the midfielder would be out until mid-November. However, the player tried to speed up that recovery in lieu of important matches ahead. But as things stand, he will remain sidelined until at least the last week of November. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.